What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's now Sunday. Back over here at the shop, B&K Performance. Yesterday, we made a lot of progress on the car. Really happy with what happened. Brandon and Courtney came over. We got a lot done. And so they probably knocked off a day and a half worth of work for me, at least a day and a half, maybe 2 days. So today we're gonna keep on keeping on. I don't know if it's gonna get started today. We're gonna try it. Will it start? I don't know if it's going to or not. We gotta make some changes. I still got a few things to tidy up from yesterday. And then hopefully we might be able to get this thing cranked up today. Let's see what we got. Don't forget to go to turbojohnracing.com, grab yourself some merchandise, and hopefully we will be at Darlington next Saturday. I will let y'all know by Wednesday or Thursday if it's going to happen or not. It's looking good at the moment. All right, guys, so they got this thing painted up a little bit last night. I did go buy some Hammer Tone. I don't know if I like this gloss black. This is some paint that I had bought because Hammer Tone was not available, but I found some Hammer Tone today. So I just went ahead and got mocked up too. I got over here a few minutes ago. I mocked up my turbo support. So I'm gonna just do this here. I mean, this is a piece of 1-inch pipe. We'll weld it right here to this. I mean, ideally, I went ahead and mitered this. If it seems like this thing is moving or if I have any issues out of it, I'll go ahead and triangulate it back over here to the frame close to this. But I think that'll be fine. My old car, that's what I did. I had no issue with that. So I mean, it's about the same distance as my old one, so I think it'll be okay. Or I could come off of this front piece here to triangulate it there as well. But for right now, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just have it like this. We got it bolted down, so we're gonna just weld this joint. We'll be good. This is where this is gonna mount. We showed y'all that yesterday. So this is just gonna mount right here, so this will be fine. It just hose clamps to that bar. Fuel cell is going to be over here. I spent a bunch of time last night looking at my wiring. And so I come up with a little bit of a problem. The way I had the scramble working before is it was simple. My button, it applied ground. And I have a lot of inputs and outputs and activation tables, advanced tables, and my drive shaft sensor. All that stuff is controlled by my scramble button because I have a couple things happening. Basically, when it's complicated. The way it was before, it took me a little while to figure it out. Devin was able to work me through it. When I grabbed the scramble, when I turn on the scramble button, y'all remember before it was up on the dash, when I turn on the scramble button, it turns off my traction control to drive shaft sensor. It kills the power to the drive shaft sensor so we can do a burnout. You know, I don't know if y'all remember last year, there was a couple times the car would not do a burnout because traction control was on. So we figured out how to work through that. The other benefit of the way that was hooked up is when I grabbed the scramble button, down track, it would turn off the traction control. And so it's one of those things I was thinking, contemplating it, you know, it's one of those things if you're behind and you need more wheel speed, when you got a traction control graph built, then it won't let it go past that wheel speed number. So, you know, that's a good thing, right? So the way this one was set up, I've got it set up now, I would have to redo everything, and it would also make it complicated as far as the way I'm going to press the button to make it. It's going to make it more complicated to make it do that. It wouldn't be able to do it like I wanted. So we got another button. It's a spare one that Brian had in the trailer, so we grabbed that one. That's one we had replaced from last year. So I'm gonna have 2 scramble buttons. So the top one is gonna be my bump scramble, and traction control is not gonna go off. When I'm doing my burnout, the bottom button is going to be like my old scramble. So that'll be the one that does turns off the traction control, and it gives it more boost increase. So basically what I'll do on this scramble button up here, I'll probably put like maybe 2 or 3 pounds of dome pressure. And then if something happens and that's not enough, then I'll have whatever that number is on top, I'll have, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 more on the bottom. And so basically what I'll do is I'll go from this one to this one. And pretty soon I'm gonna look like Charles Collier, looking like a spaceship, and I'll have like 8 buttons on my steering wheel. You got increase, 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 a decrease, a decrease. I think that's what he's doing. I could be wrong. But so that's what we're going to do. We got to get that done. We got to get that done. And then most of the wiring, we're going to try to tidy up. Everything else is done. I've been saying the wiring is done for a while, but it is done other than zippy ties and loom. All right, here we go. So Brian is over here fixing the door. I appreciate him doing that. He had to refiberglass this whole hinge area. It has closed so poorly, which it was kind of beat up anyway. This is a door that one of my buddies gave me. It's pretty flimsy. So it was that flimsy back here. And so you combine the couple years of use with it not shutting properly, and you have to have it a certain spot to make it work. That makes for a damaged door. So Brian is fixing this stuff up. So I appreciate that. Awesome. All right, guys. So the wiring is complete. And I've been saying it for a while, but it is actually complete. So that is our final wiring. There is a little bit of, you know, wiring that you can see, but, you know, from the other car, I mean, I admit it looks a ton better. But functionality is fine. It doesn't matter. The other one worked just fine. It just looked like crap. And so this one, it doesn't look like the same crap, but it still looks like crap. I mean, because it's, you know, it's still got a bunch of wires all together. And, you know, I'm not the world's best at getting this stuff sorted out, but we did get it. So I painted this. Courtney didn't think I was actually going to paint it. I was able to actually get that clamp to go through there too, that band clamp. So we moved that CO2 bottle. Since it's heavier, we just let it sit on that big bar. Got all of our lines run. That line's going back to the back for the CO2. CO2 is running all through here. So that is final assembly. That is final mount. All the wiring. I don't know how you can build a race car without zip ties. So we got zip ties all over the place. No duct tape, but zip ties anyway. So this thing is looking pretty good. I'm liking it. I'm digging it. Next step, we're going to get the fuel cell mounted up and see what happens. All right, guys, so we are done for the night. We made a lot of progress. I'm having some problems, though, and I'll show you what that is now. This stuff is mounted. The fuel cell is mounted. This is nice and tight. Return line. Well, this looks a lot better than what it did before. The fuel line down there is good to go. So we are fine there. Back pressure sensor is mounted. It is working. I do have to hook this up just to this little port here, so that's not a big deal. That'll just take a second. Wiring is good-ish. I think the wiring is right, but I'm having an issue to where my shifter, when I immediately turn on the power, it shifts. And that's not the way I've got it set up in here. And the real problematic thing is I had this happen when we were at Thunder Valley, one of the no prep from the back of the track. I don't remember what the solution was, but it was a simple solution, but it was one that I remember I talked about it on a video, but it was just a little blurb of about 10 or 15 seconds, 30 seconds, where I was talking about the outputs and how I would have never found it if blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? Now I can't find it. And I can't remember what the problem was. And I mean, the shifter is a very, very simple, it's a ground. And then the Holley sends an output. I've got it so it sends a positive when it is supposed to shift. But that's not happening for some reason. So drive shaft sensor's fine. All that stuff's working. Bump is working. Scramble's working. Trans brake's working. We are going to have to, this is working. This is modulating like I need it to. So that's fine. So the only thing I got to figure out wiring-wise or setting-wise is why the shifter is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So other than that, I think we're good to go. Got to clean all this wiring up over through here, and I think we'll be set. Not going to get started tonight. Still got a few things I'm going to try to work on tonight before I leave, but I won't film that. We'll show that next time. All right, guys, comment, like, and subscribe. See y'all soon. Later.